Hey friends! Welcome to Learn with the Hexamind, where curiosity comes alive. Let's discover something amazing together.
If you drive through Houston, Texas, you'll encounter the Katy Freeway. At 26 lanes wide, it is a monument to American infrastructure. It cost over $2 billion to expand. The goal? Fix traffic. The result? Commute times actually went up by 30%. How did America become a country dominated by concrete scars so massive you can see them from space? And why don't they work? To understand the traffic paradox, we have to look at an economic concept called induced demand. It's the highway planner's worst nightmare. Think of a road like a water pipe. If you widen the pipe, more water flows through. But with roads, the water is cars. When you add a lane, driving becomes temporarily easier. This encourages more people to drive instead of taking the bus. Soon, it's jammed again. But America wasn't always built for the car. To see how we got here, we have to rewind to the 1950s. The story really begins with President Dwight D. Eisenhower. During World War II, he saw the efficiency of Germany's Autobahn network. In the 1950s, the Cold War was heating up. Eisenhower argued that America needed a massive road network to quickly evacuate cities if nuclear war broke out. This fear, combined with a booming auto industry, led to the Federal Aid Highway Act of 1956. It was the largest public works project in history. The plan was to build 41,000 miles of interstate highways, connecting every major city in the country with high-speed, multi-lane roads. European countries built highways between their cities. But in America, planners made a fateful decision. They ran the highways directly through the cities. To build these massive concrete rivers in the middle of downtowns, planners had to bulldoze existing neighborhoods. Millions of people lost their homes. But the destruction wasn't random. Highway planners routinely targeted minority, low-income neighborhoods, viewing them as blight that needed clearing. Vibrant communities were literally split in half. Thriving local economies were wiped off the map to make way for suburban commuters. And speaking of suburbs, these new highways fueled a massive exodus. White, middle-class Americans left the city centers for new homes in the suburbs. This created a vicious cycle. Because you now lived far from work and stores, you absolutely needed a car to survive. American cities fundamentally changed. They stopped being designed for human beings walking and started being designed exclusively for cars parking. In some American downtowns today, parking lots take up more than 50% of the total land area. While billions were poured into concrete highways, public transportation systems, like trains and buses, were starved of funding and left to decay. Which brings us back to today. The interstate system is a marvel, moving trillions of dollars of freight, but it comes at a steep price. Highways are incredibly expensive to maintain, and right now, America's infrastructure is aging, crumbling, and desperate for repairs. We were sold the highway as the ultimate symbol of American freedom, the open road, but sitting in gridlock traffic doesn't feel very free. Beyond traffic, there's the environmental toll. Transportation is now the largest source of greenhouse gas emissions in the United States.
But recently, a shift has started. Urban planners are realizing that you cannot simply build your way out of traffic.
Cities like Rochester and San Francisco are actually tearing down their urban highways, replacing them with parks, housing, and walkable streets.
This movement, known as freeway removal, aims to stitch those historically divided neighborhoods back together. It requires heavily investing in reliable public transit, dedicated bike lanes, and changing zoning laws to build denser communities. Ironically, America is now looking at places like Amsterdam and Paris, cities that have successfully reclaimed their streets from the automobile.
The American highway isn't going anywhere, but its dominance over our cities, our time, and our environment is finally being questioned. If you want to understand more about how our cities are designed, hit subscribe. Let us know in the comments, how is the traffic in your city?